Here's the word the Lord gave to me that I want to share with you. And I believe that this morning will be a very powerful word, a very pointed word that needs to be spoken. And I pray that it will be shared and it will go far. And most of all, that people would listen. Here's what the Lord said. He said, "Behold, I stand and I knock at the door of your heart. America, why won't you listen and open the door? There is a storm brewing, O nation of perversion, a storm not only designed to affect your stuff, but a storm that will afflict your soul. Pride has become your armor, a stout heart your shield. But I know the weaknesses of man. I am coming, says your God, and I will be in your storm. My grace will go before me, warning those who listen. But woe to the foolish who build their house on sand. Woe to the foolish virgins who has no oil in their lamps. Shelter in me." Very powerful word. As I was preparing, he spoke to me these words. He said, storm warning. Storm warning. And that is the message this morning. Storm warning. As you know, a storm watch is for us to be on the lookout, but a storm warning means it is here. It is about to break loose and to break forth in an area in which it has been forecasted. And we're in that time frame where the storms are upon our nation and they're only increasing. Again, in the beginning of the word, he said it's going to be more than just affecting your stuff, that it will afflict your soul. I believe that what is coming down the road, and not too long from now, will bring us to a place and a position that the very soul of man will be shaken, that the very heart of humanity will fear. For the Bible says there'll come a time when men's hearts will fail them for fear because of the things that are coming upon the earth. And I believe we're watching that. It's taking place. But the only problem is it hasn't hit your address or your zip code, and therefore it's over there and it's somewhere else in another state, in another country, in another world, and it doesn't bother me and it doesn't affect me. But what I'm telling you today from this pulpit is clear and is concise, that this storm that is coming, that will affect the soul of every man, every boy and every girl, every man and woman, every person that's upon the face of this earth, especially in the United States of America, because of our pride and our arrogance towards God, our reliance on stuff and things to buffet us and protect us and be an armor against life. But I want you to know something. When God is dealing with you, you could have the finest things that money can buy, and they'll never protect you from an awesome God. But the day is coming when Americans will shake and they will quake underneath this hardened skin of pride, and their hearts will begin to fail because of what is taking place to a country that has turned its back on a God who loves them immensely. We've had a great opportunity to do something great for God, but we've watered it away. We've washed it away. We've pushed it away because we've made a God and an idol unto ourselves. Our success, our finances, our homes, our luxury, our life, our very being has become the replacement of a holy God. And so this morning I have a message to deliver to not only America, but to the nations of the world, and to anybody that will listen to this storm warning. There is coming an event and a series of events that is going to shake us, and it's because of our rebellion. I'm telling you, the Church of Jesus Christ is not ready for the heavy lifting. They're not ready for the rescue. They're not ready for the craziness. They're not ready for people to lose their mind after they've lost everything, because the church is not prepared. I'm not a fatalist. I believe I believe in His kingdom coming. His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I don't believe in a denomination. I don't believe in a Republican or Democrat position. I don't believe in anything political to change a spiritual situation. I wish it was so. But multiplied millions of evangelicals were fooled on election day. Fooled into believing we're going to change something with the power of a pen. Listen, the reason we're preaching like we're preaching, and I'm speaking for the watchmen and the prophetic community, the reason why we're telling you to prepare is so that you can live in Babylon. You're already there. You're already there. But you need to learn how to live in Babylon when they shut the ATM off. You need to learn how to live in Babylon when your 401k goes up in smoke. You need to learn how to live in Babylon when you can't get money out of your bank account. The other day I was at the bank and I was on the second teller side driving through. Usually I go through the business side, but I had a bunch of cars lined up, about 5 cars. That's a lot for Hartwell. And I was in there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I caught on the side of my eye, this lady comes running up, and she's pounding on the window. Get off the phone! Get off of the phone! And I thought she was going to break the window. I'm waiting for SWAT to come out of the ceiling. I'm shaking my head. I can't believe this is happening in Hartwell. The long story short, I found out what the problem was. The person in front was taking too long, and Grandma got mad about it, so she ran up and pounded on the window to tell the lady to get off the phone. And I looked at my children as I drove off laughing, and I said to them, because you're always teaching, amen? I looked at them and said, now could you imagine what it's going to be like when they can't get their money? Only thing she lost was time, and she about busted through the window. What would happen if she lost her savings? What would happen if she lost her money? What would happen if she lost her account? They would have went through that window. They would have drugged that lady through that little metal box. You think I'm kidding you? It's a fact. You can just look down the road at Venezuela and you can see the reality. Say, why did you say that? I said that because you're supposed to be preparing for the hour of the storm. You're supposed to be preparing for a time when the government collapses and when people can no longer support you, and that helping hand that you think is around the corner is no longer there. You must lift your hands to a greater hand, and that hand is the hand of the Lord. You must raise your hand to God and let God help you. And if He has to give ravens food, He'll give ravens food to feed you, and He'll take care of you by the brook. God will make a way when there seems to be no way. Again, we have people that are trying to change prophecy. They're trying to change things. They're trying to find a way to get out of the mess that we're in. And there is no political solution to a sin-filled situation. We are a nation that is going to hell. We're living in hell. We're going there in a handbasket. And there is nobody that can stop this. I wish this were another way around this. I wish this wasn't so. But the evidence outside of your window in your life is telling you that this is truth. By the multiplied hundreds do I receive letters and contacts telling me this is exactly the truth. This is exactly what they see in their neighborhoods. This is exactly what they see in their families. This is so. We're living in a chaotic world. We're living in a time of great sickness in our nation. And this is, again, the very mindset of the American church. We know we're doing wrong. We know our politicians are in sin. We know our government is wicked. We know they're creating wars. We know that they're doing all of these things in foreign combat fields and foreign mission places around the world. We know that they're crooked that you could even screw them into the ground. But yet our evangelical hierarchy, all these puppeteers, all these people that are in these positions of authority over the church, speak lies and spew upon the manipulation to the point to where they mimic and they believe it from the pulpit, and they repeat it and they say, it's going to prosper. It's going to prosper. This is the way to do it. This is how we make America great again. And God says, shall it prosper? And the answer is no. It does not prosper. We're living in such a rebellious country. We're living in a time of rebellion that I have never seen. We're a nation that has gone berserk. Storm warnings, they're here. We're living in crazy times. But this nation, as we move into this rebellion, as we move into breaking covenant, as we watch these things unveil around our nation, it is amazing to me how that people have become numb to what's happening. We are fearful of the unknown, but there's a lot of things that are coming. There's a lot of unknown things that are going to hit this nation that the prophets and the watchmen are trying to warn folks about, but many are not listening. But I do have a good report. There are some that are waking up, and which I'm grateful. As we know, on Friday, what took place in Santa Fe, Texas, where a 17-year-old demon-possessed young thug went into his art class and shot 20 people. 10 died and 10 were injured. And it amazes me that America is numb. It amazes me that we go back into life and lifestyle, and it just seems to be another little spot and splatter on the map of life. This nation has lost its brains. It's lost its heart. It's lost its moral compass. We broke covenant with God, and when you break covenant with God, rebellion sets in, and crazy folks start doing what they're doing. But again, Americans are numb to this. They just really don't have a heart anymore. It really doesn't matter because it doesn't affect my children. It doesn't affect my zip code. It doesn't affect where I live. But I'm telling you, it will affect your life one day, and one day soon. Because what is going to come, the event and events that are going to come are going to shake us again to our very soul. We're not shaken by 10 children being killed. We're not. See, the storm is here. It's on the American shores, but we don't want to listen to it. In 2017, they had 346 mass shootings. Wonder if we'll break that record this year. I pray not. But chances are very high. Because we're making no progress towards heaven. We're doing nothing to try to fix our situation with God. We're living in a time where rebellion is increasing in our country. Again, like I just reported, and you know about these school shootings and these mass murders, these mass killings. It is a nation that has lost its soul and its compass. Just the other day, a Playboy centerfold model went to the 25th floor of a posh hotel in New York City, going through a dispute with her ex-husband over the 7-year-old child, grasped the child around her waist and jumped off the building into eternity. Seemingly, she had it all: looks, money, but her soul was lost. Come to find out after further investigation, as I read, she was the author of 25 self-help New Age books. How'd that work out? You better get a hold of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, not some false Christ. Can you imagine that? To grab the 7-year-old child, the 7-year-old son, and just plunge off the top of the building. If nobody can have him, nobody gets this child. I can't have him, you won't get him either. People are flipping out, man. People are going crazy. I'm reading to you the state of America. I'm reading to you the storm warning that's upon our country. All I can tell you today is you need to find shelter in God. You need to listen. You need to prepare for hard times. You need to prepare for an event and events that are going to come like dominoes. You need to prepare for some things that are going to take place in our country that's going to shock even the strongest among us. There's a storm here in America. Those watching right now, I pray that you're preparing your family, that you haven't gone back to sleep, that you haven't said, oh, well, you know, it really hasn't harmed us, and that's over there, and that's another place. Because I'm telling you, it is coming, the great wake-up call.